All right, switching gears, we have some breaking news out of Mar-a-Lago. President-elect Donald Trump expected to name Stephen Miller as White House Deputy Chief of Staff. Miller will join the appointment of other key roles announced over the weekend, including former acting ICE Director Tom Homan, who will serve as the administration's border czar. New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is taking on the role of UN ambassador, and Susie Wiles as Chief of Staff, the first woman to serve in that role. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is in West Palm Beach, Florida for us, where the president-elect is huddling right now, Weijia, with his transition team. Let's start with Stephen Miller. What can you tell us about this possible appointment?
Liz, it's great to be with you. Well, I think this is an indication of where the second Trump administration is heading in terms of who will be making the calls and fulfilling the president's agenda. And so you're right, Stephen Miller is expected to be the White House Deputy Chief of Staff of Policy. And remember, during the first administration, he served as a senior advisor to the president and director of speech writing, and he was known as a controversial figure in large part because of his hardline immigration stances. He played a huge role in Trump's zero tolerance policy, which ended up separating families at the border, and also in Trump's Muslim ban. And so it's no surprise, Liz, that he is going to take on this role as Trump gears up to implement what he calls the biggest mass deportation in this country's history. And so Stephen Miller is a Trump loyalist, and so are all the other names that you mentioned. So I think that really tells us that Trump is putting a premium on loyalty, which is nothing new. But the difference is that he is handpicking people who will help him carry out his agenda and really cutting away the possibility of anyone trying to steer him in a different direction, Liz.
Yeah, he's vowing to keep his promises that he made during the campaign, Weijia. All of this happening very, very fast. Can you walk us through the other appointments from over the weekend, including Tom Homan and New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik?
Sure. So the one thing, again, that these two have in common is not only that they are very aligned with Trump and his policies and goals, but they are able to communicate them. I mean, President-elect Trump really takes a look at people and how they can speak in public. And so when you look at clips of both Tom Homan and Elise Stefanik, you see that. And Elise Stefanik became a rising star because she defended Trump during the impeachment hearings. And she was always out talking about how, this was a witch hunt, how this was unfair. Then Tom Homan served for Trump in the first administration as the acting director of ICE. And so this is already very familiar territory for him. In the same vein that I was talking about with Stefanik, he's been out on the campaign trail at conferences talking about mass deportation and why it's so important. And he really views that issue in black and white. Either you're here legally or you're not. And he says, this administration will give people the chance to seek asylum. But the bottom line is, if you are turned away, there's no waiting time. They just want people to leave. And so it'll be very interesting to see how he carries this out, Liz, because you can expect a lot of legal and civil challenges to come.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All right, CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang in West Palm Beach, Florida for us. Thanks so much, Weijia.